And welcome everybody to the first episode of a brand new podcast called Feature Fragment, where we take a feature and we fragment it down to its bits, bobs, and blemishes. We're going to be talking about everything that we can think of. Everything is on the table. I'm Silabus, and first and foremost, we have to introduce my co-host, Kit the Traveler.
Hello.
And we're going to introduce one more guest, but we got to introduce the game we're going to be talking about because the game kind of goes with the person we're going to be talking with. So, the game we're going to be playing today is Helldivers 2. And the reason why I say we have to sit there and talk about the game before we introduce the guest is because our guest likes to use me as his personal target range whenever a new gun comes out. So, welcome, Flamingo.
That's lies and slanders, and you know it. I even use the old guns.
You even use the old guns. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
what do you think I just shot? I shot you with one of the first guns I unlocked. I
If you
think.
say so. If you say so. So, thank you everybody for coming to join us. We're gonna hopefully have a bit of fun with this. Starting off, let's just go around and get hello from everybody. Since this is the first podcast that we're doing with this, and people may not know who we are. Let's start with Kit. If you want to go through a little bit.
I am just a small content creator that likes to stream, talk about video games and other hobbies. I originate for Guild Wars 2 for making Nicholas the Traveler like little side project. And I stream currently, and most of the time it's just mostly MMOs, but every now and then I play games like Helldivers 2 or League or Dead by Daylight. So just pretty chill. You can pretty much find me at the little names on my picture, which is just Kit the Traveler on pretty much every social. And then, yeah, that's it.
Hey, you gotta admit, with that little picture thing is actually really freaking cool.
Yeah, it's really helpful.
And if we want to just go around to Flamingo, if you have anything you want to add on to that, what you do?
Hi, everyone. I am Flamingo. I am here to have some fun with the game and explain some of the aspects that I see that others might not. Look forward to talking to everyone.
And unfortunately, for those of you guys who are watching the VOD, Flamingo doesn't have a scroll like myself and Kit. Flamingo doesn't have socials. He's an antisocial a hole.
Damn straight. I know
and
people. I know myself. I don't want to meet more of me.
and with that, we will go to me. I'm Syllabus. I've been playing games for all my life. Like I grew up with the Nintendo. I mostly deal with MMOs and stuff like that. And we've been playing Helldivers lately. And I'm pretty sure we're going to be getting to a lot of cool conversations about this game, both good, bad, and ugly. But yeah, not too much from there. Me and Flamingo will be playing the game as we go through. So if you guys hear gameplay in the background, or if you hear me yell at him once or twice, it's probably because he shot me in the head or dropped something on my head that I didn't like. So let's start off with what is like your broad overall analysis of Helldivers 2, and we'll just go into like a round table. What do you guys think about the game? You think it's good, bad, dumb fun?
Uh, I'll let Flamingo go first.
Honestly, it is a great brainless shooter. You can take seriously. You can drop in, drop out. It has a lot of things that a lot of games miss out.
Yeah,
Like,
I will definitely go with it's one of those good mindless shooters that the industry has kind of needed lately. It feels like the industry's been trying to go for a lot of like just intensive games, but this is definitely one of those nice change of pace, dumb mindless shooter type games. You got anything to add?
Sorry, I was writing to Deo. Yes, I think it's a pretty fun game. It gives me back like when Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2 came out. Where it's just like, yeah, you have to kind of think whatever, but it also is just like, yeah, a little bit brainless, fun, excitement. You're not, yes, you're kind of punished for how many times you're dying, but like at the same time, I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's in its own little niche of just fun with friends, with randos. I would hope in the future that they would bring some other modes of just like more than four, but I know that's not like the theme of the game, but it'd be cool because I have oftentimes where it's like our party fills up and we have to like go into two different parties to, get the democracy going and all that good stuff. But no, the game is really good. It's really entertaining. I actually like this POV over the Helldivers 1's POV. So it's kind of nice to see how they evolved from their first game.
See, and I haven't played Helldivers 1, so I really can't say it. I'm coming into this entire thing brand new and just enjoying the absolute tongue in cheek patriotism thing that they have going on here. Um, I do want to tackle onto two subjects you did bring up, Kit,
Mm-hmm.
with the group splitting into like four players split into two groups of two. Because me and Flamingo will do that a lot as well. As we'll go into like anything like difficulty four or below, jump into two groups and just go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then from there, the whole dying thing is like this is one of those games where I tend to die a lot, but I don't think I've ever died in a rage-inducing way, save for something we'll probably get into a little bit later. But every single death I've had in this game, I've laughed at. It's just stupid funny watching the character go Wilhelm screaming across the screen.
It's definitely day and night when I play with certain people or I listen to certain people's like partners or friends play where it's like some people just get very upset over just mule school deaths because also like sometimes the game say like Flamingo could hit you like not even trying to hit you hit something else but somehow it'll be like and somehow it'll say like he killed you or something. Some people get upset about that and that's just crazy. It's like it happens. Something game mechanics sometimes are delayed or whatever, but it's not like it's very it's like you just come back again. Just continue on. I get it when it gets real tight at the end, and I know some people are about the samples. I have some friends that are super sample crazy. So they get a little upset if samples go missing. I kind of just am like, you're gonna get samples one way or another. Like, you flop here, okay, you can try again later.
What's your thoughts, Flamingo?
To talk specifically about the deaths in this game, it's not punishment. It's expected.
Exactly.
Like we're playing on a super low difficulty with two players, and we have 10 reinforcements and the ability to get a reinforcement back. I think every 2 minutes without the stratagem that speeds it up.
Mm-hmm.
It's saying you're going to die, and it's okay. Here's another chance.
I
You know,
think
to
that's
these
the
same people,
humor behind it too, in a sense. Like, it,
yeah, how
yeah,
replaceable a person is inside of the cog of a war machine.
exactly.
And do these same people rage when they die in Super Mario? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Du-du-du-du-du-du. Shit.
Yeah, like I don't know. There's been plenty of times where I play multiplayer games or something like that, and it's just like sometimes you just are gonna get hurt or croak. That's like most of these games prepare you for that or set it up to they know you're gonna
Okay, I'll
act
get it.
like hurt each other or get hurt. So no, I agree. Overall, the
Just sitting here playing Dayroot behind me and then just pop me in the head. Thank you.
You're
yeah,
welcome. I got it out of my system early, okay?
I like to land on people with my stuff when I come back down. That's how I usually get my
Unfortunately,
return.
unfortunately, Furdock knows I try to do that whenever he kills me, so he knows to run away. And I just throw him far whenever I
Yeah.
respawn him.
He throws me back into danger, which is where I like to be.
That's another
Uh,
thing. I don't know if you guys ever played with people where they split off into twos and then usually if you die wherever you die, your partner like whoever you split off with is normally is who's gonna recall you.
yep.
Hmm.
Uh I know that a lot of people don't like that. They're just like at this point, why don't you just make it a 2v like game? And it's just like I don't. It's so that you can cover most of the map.
Yeah, and one thing I think Furdock tries to do is we'll land near an objective, knock out the objective, depending on how many objectives are on the map, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's okay, buddy up, because we're going clockwise, you're going counterclockwise, and we'll see you guys in 5 minutes.
It really depends on the map. Like,
Yeah.
bot maps, I'm more of a fan of moving it as a squad of 4. Bots to me are always a difficulty or 2 above.
What's your guys' favorite? The bugs or the bots?
Bots.
Uh,
Get
the
bots all day, every day.
yeah, the bots have a lot more variety, like with their designs and stuff like that.
It's crazy that you guys say that, and then on Reddit I just see people like, "I'm so sick of bots. I
Well,
want to go back to bugs."
yeah, people are. I feel like people like the bugs because they're easier to kill, and people like the bots for the design. Like I've been in matches with Flamingo where we've gone around going for bots, and I went, "Hey, I just shot this Warhammer 30K dreadnought in the face 3 times, and it collapsed." And then I'm hiding behind a freaking rock, going, "How do I kill the 40K one?"
No,
And
I
Ordnance.
agree. The
Lots of
bots are
ordnance.
fun. They
and
have like
I've
such big machines too.
I've had people sit there. It's like those are the best names I've ever heard for those enemies. Like that's what I call them.
Hmm. No, I agree. I had to take a break right when well, the Sony situation, and then when I came back to get the latest like new mech, and I hadn't like checked the bots out in a while, and when I got in and I was like, what the f is that? It was like a big walking machine or whatever. I don't know what the official name is. I'm sure Flamingo you guys might know, but it looked like
Um,
something from Star Wars. It was like big.
Misery. I think it's called the Misery.
Yeah, I was like, holy crap, what?
I did a
It
mission
was
where you had to take out like
scary.
2 of those things. It's like, yep, I'm throwing a 500 kilogram and I'm throwing the freaking orbital laser on that thing, and I'm running because I don't want to see that.
No, I
Uh,
feel you.
but yeah, recent major orders. We made Meridia not a thing anymore. What'd you guys think about that?
Was that the one
I
with the planet that got destroyed?
Yeah, that's the one that we sit there and injected it with cancer and killed it.
I think it's cool that you can actually fly to it and like even though you can't do anything in there, it's cool that you get to fly and like kind of be in the void or whatever of it all and
Yeah,
like
you still get to see the black hole and the remnants of
yeah,
your actions.
it was pretty crazy. I don't
I
know.
saw on Reddit there was a video that actually recorded an object flying out of the hole.
Oh,
So people
Maybe
are
we'll
saying,
get to
"Oh,
that
that's
later.
well." People are saying, "Hey, this is how the third faction's going to show up."
that would be cool.
Although,
Uh,
didn't they kill all the Illuminati in Helldivers 1?
That's what I thought, but a lot of people are saying that the same as you though, because I have a couple other friends who are like deep Helldiver people, and like that's what they're talking about is like some of the clues leading up to just even before the planet situation or leading up to like the Illuminati, especially because of the at the time there's like invisible ships about or whatever that people could see across maps or whatever.
yeah, so to get onto the Illuminate thing, faction might be coming back in. Is some people have also seen on like Bug Worlds and some of the Terminator worlds, whatever they're called, the bots. Random blue like streaks of energy kind of going and attacking somebody at a random angle that shouldn't not be done,
Yeah.
and they're thinking that there might be like Illuminate scout groups are just picking us off one by one.
And I
I mean,
think one of the programs out there, the Helldiver tracker, has Illuminati kills being listed.
I feel like they're definitely gonna bring them back, and unless they have like, is there any other race?
Uh, Not that I know of, but it
Unless they
doesn't
come up
prevent
with
them.
something new.
What about traders? They could always just send traders after us.
That would be fun, honestly. I
Oh,
would be okay. Even though it would be a scary situation, it'd be cool how they would do it. The one thing I will give praise about this game is that it's constantly like a weekly update in a sense. Like stuff is always going on. Um,
so from the sounds of it, they may do like updates on the game, like we're bug fixes and stuff like that.
hmm
But or not the major orders, but the war bonds might start slowing down so they can do quality over quantity.
Maybe.
I'm I'm looking forward to that, honestly. I mean, how many times do we see live service games where they just churn out this massive flood of stuff and like two or three things are worthwhile?
Yeah,
And then
no.
everyone goes, "Oh, it's a failure." No, like if you just churn out a ton of shit cars like the Pinto, you're not giving me a Cadillac. I don't want it.
Um, I was gonna say also, did you see syllabus about Helldivers 2 helped basically save the children in a
Yeah,
sense
we're,
with
we're
event?
gonna get it out
Okay,
of here soon. That was a really
I just
cool
want
thing
to
they
make
did.
sure. Okay.
Um, but yeah, the Illuminate would be really cool. Meridia getting destroyed was absolutely awesome. I love the emergency jump that they did for all the players to get them away from the system.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then the last major order, which Kit was just alluding to, is we had two options with facing the automatons. We could either go for a weapons research facility to get anti tank mines, or we could save the children on another planet. And both options were available from the go. And it seems like Helldivers don't like mines. We save the kids.
I think that's cool that everyone was like on this, like no one was really selfish and people were actually into helping basically a good cause. Like that's one of the things that I think me and you have come around from, like even just like Pink Day from like Guild Wars 2 and Guild Wars 1, of just like going for a good cause, especially for when people think gamers don't do really anything. It's a nice way of just like interacting and somehow making a making something happen.
Yep. So, for the people who don't know, in Guild Wars 2, we used to group up with Gamers Giving Back to raise money for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And it was a lot of fun. We had a great time doing it. What we're talking about with in Helldivers 2 is with the kids being saved in this last major order, the studio who makes Helldivers, Arrowhead Studios, actually donated what, like $5,000
4311, I think it was.
uh, to
4311.
okay to children's causes in need, which was really freaking cool.
Do you guys have a favorite like mission or I guess or like order so far that you guys done? Or like a
Uh,
type of map mission that you like the whole, where it's this, where you're just doing a full map or defense type thing. Like,
I will say my favorite ones to kind of fall into are the just eradicate in a small area type ones. The defense ones are really fun. I don't like it's when the escorting the other humans, but it's just like here's an area, there's 100% bugs, make it zero.
yeah, I do like just going ham on a bunch, like kill as many as you can or whatever. Just, it's just fun because you could just throw everything and anything.
What did you think about the kids donation, Flamingo?
It was a really great gesture, something that I didn't expect. To be truthful, and I will admit, I am still a little sad that I thought we were gonna get like a child, like a derpy child's drawing taped up somewhere in the ship,
That would be amazing. I
just like
don't,
as a thumb up, good
yeah.
job.
Oh,
But
people were wanting that so bad.
yeah, but them actually going out and saying, hey, the players decided rather than getting something new in the game, they would rather save kids. We'll do the same. If you look at Games Done Quick or RPG Limit Break, it's in the same vein. It's showing that, yeah, gamers
Hmm.
do give back. And to a point that you said earlier, sorry, Kit, there is this thing called folding at home.
Hmm.
It was used for, I believe, AIDS or cancer research, and people would be able to lend the processing power of their computers. It was really, really big when many years ago. Well, they released a version where you as a person could try and fold stuff to make it fit within a capsule.
Oh.
And What I was told when I was working in the medical world is that gamers sped up research once that was given by about 15 years.
Oh yeah, there's like a lot of good stories like that where just people are just they either find like a way to cure a disease or cure some stuff, or if not, help towards a better like cure. Like yeah, so I agree. I think that's the coolest part.
And one thing that me and Furdock were talking about before we started today's podcast, because we were kind of talking about this in the green room. One cool thing that I seen on Reddit was someone took that like old like city playscape that all toddlers, like every toddler has this playscape. This little city carpet thing, putting that as the cape for saving the kids, and we're like, well, it's probably still copyright under copyright. And Flamingo brought up the good points, like Arrowhead could probably just contact them and say, hey, can we do this? And we'll give you the guys like $100 or like $100,000 or something to use the rights for it, and then sell it as a $1 like a $1 pack inside the game as a cape for DLC. And we were sitting there joking like everybody would buy that cape in a heartbeat.
Honestly, yeah, they could do because I think Blizzard does the same. Well, it's already coming out or is out now, with, which is the Pink Mercy thing. They had it before for cancer research where you could like pay in and get like a certain. So I can like if they did the same thing here with a cape or something, I would pay for it.
Yeah, so long as they like, kept it in
Maybe they can
Arrowhead.
split the cost or something to the people. Yeah.
Yeah, and well, the good thing with Arrowhead is they're doing live service right in my mind. Like
Hmm.
these war bonds are coming out and they're sticking around so people can complete them at their own leisure and get this stuff unlocked, which is an amazing thing to do. There's no FOMO in this game. And if they so they could easily just put the cape in and people will instantly go to buy it instead of like, well, I already spent like $30 or whatever getting this one war bond unlocked and fully specced out. It's like, okay, I feel better like doing this $1 transaction, $2 transaction to for charity. They wouldn't feel as like as squeezed for cash as some companies would do. That's
Yeah.
just my mind.
I think some of it also we have to think that um, they are based in Sweden, I believe, for Arrowhead. So it could also deal with like you know laws and regulations and all this other stuff. So I think they're gonna have to figure out what would make a I guess a balance between it all. Because also I don't know if taxes are a thing or not for certain places or whatever. But at least for here in the U.S., you know that it is. But I don't know how Sweden works on their stuff. So it could be a little bit. They would definitely have to sit down and maybe work with whoever on the situation if they're gonna do something. But I would be down even with just like a picture, as like Flamingo said, just like a drawing, like even like in Guild Wars 2 with the little attack on like Scarlet stuff, whatever, with the little like I would pin that up somewhere. I think it'd be cool.
So now we have a major order inside the game of taking out two bug sectors to quell their numbers. Flamingo had a really good thought because we are going to be like we're not doing the same thing as Meridia, but we're kind of doing the same thing where we're going to breach like the bug tunnels to sit there and try and cull their numbers.
Mm-hmm.
He has the possibility that there might be underground like tunnel combat coming soon.
I'd be down for that. I think that'd be cool.
I think it's gonna be frantic as hell, and I'm definitely bringing a flamethrower.
Oh, that could be interesting. I do want to talk about a blemish on this game though, because you just brought up flamethrower. Um, I want to get you guys' idea. Do you think that the fire damage in this game is a little too high, or that you catch fire a little too quickly?
Uh, I think it's all right. I think that even recently, didn't they just do a buff to a lot of guns, and then some stuff kind of got like a nerf in a sense, like the arc and all that crap, whatever. So I think the flamethrower itself, I think it's all right. Every time I try and use it the way I see people use it, I just get toasted. So I don't, and it's only because it's like the charge will charge into me and it's on fire at the time. So then I catch on fire, and then I'm like, it's it becomes a hot mess. So I'm just kind of in between. Like I don't think it's bad. I just think I'm bad using it. That's what I would put that at.
Well, I mean, that's one thing that I'm going with. It's like the charger just grazes you, and now you're on fire, and you take a full health bar worth of damage if you don't jump to the ground.
Hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. It's like you catch fire too quickly. Like you just douse yourself in gasoline the instant that you grab a flamethrower, and then it just takes way too much damage.
I get you. I mean, it is a little rough, especially because you have to like basically drop and roll in a sense to get unflamed. I don't know. Flamingo? Do you like the flamethrower at all, or do you feel
I,
like it's
I
too strong to
I
be?
have to pause real quick. If you go prone and you roll yourself, you put yourself out.
Yes, if you go the second you go prone, you put
Yeah,
yourself out.
What sorcery is this? Why have I been lied to? I literally just stem my way through it.
yeah. No,
Dude,
you
stop,
can
drop, and roll.
stop and yeah. That's basically what it. Yeah. I only learned that myself as well because I was doing the same thing. I was like stimming every time, and then someone was like, you can just drop, right? And I was like, huh? And then like I went and dropped, and I was like, oh, well, now I don't have to waste my stuff. So, yeah, depending how like severe and chaotic everything is, if it's not super chaotic, I would just stop and drop and then, do your thing.
I think I'm gonna stick with the drugs though, personally.
Yes. When it's very chaotic, I'm just like stim, stim, stim.
I'm on fire. I can either get on the ground and roll around and be fine, or I can inject myself with experimental drugs. Give
They're not
me the
experimental.
drugs.
They work perfectly. My last 3,800 lives say so. Uh, joking aside, I actually think it needs a buff. I actually like the fact that we get caught on
See, and I
fire
feel like
very
it got
easily.
buffed. It didn't get buffed recently. What got buffed
Well,
this
they they
weekend?
they they fixed a bug with it where only the host was doing the full damage ticks, and now other people now can do the
Oh,
burning ticks.
okay. So,
So I
okay.
I personally like using fire. I think that if it's not going to get buffed, let's actually have it operate a bit more like a zone control to be able to zone out certain enemies. Bugs, I understand if they don't do it. You know, they may have a hive mind saying, "I don't give a shit," draw their attention.
Yeah.
But bots avoiding fire makes sense.
Yep.
If I could use it as a way to start funneling people or to make them have to wait to start coming after me, I wouldn't mind it. But for us getting set on fire fast, I don't know what our armor is made out of. Personally, I think it's made out of gasoline just because of how oily I look.
I think it'd be cool if like the helm and the cape, like, or just the cape too, would have like maybe like less, I don't know, fire damage or like getting hurt, like just little tweaks here and there on some of the armor pieces because I do feel like some of the armor is just like either medium, heavy, and light, and then like maybe an extra stem, maybe an extra grenade, maybe a little take more little hit. That's great, but it'd be nice just to add like maybe you don't get zapped so easily by your damn teammates when they use arc.
There is a arc one that
Oh,
reduces
finally?
damage.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
I'm pretty certain it's arc damage. I'll check once I'm out of this mission.
Oh, good.
So to go on to the point you were just making there, Kit,
Mhm.
it was actually in development that capes and helmets were supposed to have their own like gear check with them,
I
but because
figured.
but because Arrowhead wanted to get the game out on in a decent time, they scrapped that feature.
So are they never going to do it, or is this right now just scrapped?
I wouldn't say never. I would say it's back burner because I haven't heard if it was a forever scrap thing. I just seen it on Reddit and it's like, oh hey, this was supposed to be a thing,
That makes
but they
sense
want to
because
get the
when the
game
game
out.
first came out, even the armor itself had no stats. Like for like I think maybe like a week or two or something, like maybe a couple weeks, and then they finally put stats on them. And then I thought, okay, well maybe they're gonna do the helm and cape, but I guess not. Which, like you said, never say never because they didn't fully say no. It's just they didn't have time, so they scrapped it at that moment. But with the way things are going, how well things are happening for them, if they put
Yeah,
it in, that'd be cool.
yeah, and this game just the word of mouth to make it as big as it was absolutely insane. Like I'd
I
never
just
heard of
loved
Helldivers.
in the political world, a lot of these people were putting it as that this was a propaganda to get people to apply, like basically sign up for the military. Because I guess like Call of Duty, this like any shooter game, like they think that anything with the military, like democracy type stuff, politics, it's a form of trying to brainwash you to sign up for the military, and it's like, no, not really.
See, and when I was looking at the whole political scene of this, there were people like, "Oh, it's so nice to have a game that's not political." And then I actually started looking, like, watching other people talk about it, and it's like, "What do you mean it's not political? This is one of the most political fucking games out there. It's just
Uh-huh.
tongue in cheek about it and not
I also
serious."
love that the developers stick to their guns and keep it in the game. Like they don't back down or like bend over. They just like, this is the world, this is the lore, this is how we work, and
Yeah,
this is how we're acting. Like period. Like we're not like bending around for things. So and that's good because some of these companies like, oh well, this might be a little too sensitive or this might not be sensitive. Like how hard can we push the envelope here?
yeah. What do you think about all this stuff, Flamingo?
Like, are we talking about the politics in general? Because if we're going to talk about it, hey, Call of Duty's had some weird advancements in game technology, like the suicide drones that could be piloted that suddenly coincided with stuff that the military had. Not saying it's real, not saying it's real. We're in a tinfoil hat right now. But no,
Tinfoil hat away.
But do you
this
feel like
game,
Helldivers 2 is trying to recruit you to sign up for the military?
absolutely. No, it may not be their intention, but absolutely, because hey, what do they show in some of the early cutscenes? Huge amounts of camaraderie. And what's
Exactly.
something that people really oftentimes crave is that human interaction with someone that
For
believes something
me,
similar to them.
it does not because I know people like you will get me killed because you're too having too much fun with the like, explosives. I'll be like, well, there goes my life. I won't be able
Hey,
to return back to life or get
I'm pretty sure.
resummoned down.
I'm pretty sure
there's a
Flamingo.
difference between games and real life. Games, risk taker. Real life, I am anti-risk.
Yeah, that's the only issue. Is I feel like
Bunker.
some of these people would be like, ooh,
Dumbledore.
explosion.
Yeah, those people would not be allowed near any explosives. I could say that from knowing a few military people. Or they control themselves really well and then they become the explosives guy.
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
Or they're the kind of guy, or they're the kind of people who said there's like, you know what, I'm going to be completely straight laced with this when we're out in the field. But if I'm sitting there in my own free time, I'm going to see how far I can get that chair to fly up in the air.
Would you say if like would you recommend this game to people if they didn't have it? Like if they were looking for like co-op or just in general like a not really it's not really brainless. You do have to kind of think a little bit, but just like a chill back game in a sense.
I would say yes, because the community does remind me a bit about Guild Wars. Now, for people who don't know, the Guild Wars community has gotten recognition for being noob friendly and new player friendly.
Hmm.
I have encountered exactly 2 or 3 assholes in this game. Like, kicked me at the end of the mission saying, I'm sorry, but I need the samples more than you. Not realizing that the samples are universal. And he was level
What?
40.
No way.
He
Was
was
it
level
beginning or
42.
something? Oh
Nope, level 42.
my god. That's
Uh,
crazy. At least it
how,
was only a couple of times of your experience. That like it's not crazy. Like that part, like that's a very like, from numbers wise, that's not crazy that you're being like harassed or kicked or whatever. But just the that part, like, I feel bad.
how do you get to
Uh,
level 42 and not realize that?
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Holy crap.
that's a good question.
But go on. Sorry.
And one of the other guys I encountered was very recent. I was calling down the 120 and the 380 because I like using ordnance. I find ordnance fun, especially on the egg maps. I throw it into the place and I can go off and do something else nearby and come back a little bit later. It's like turning the microwave on for a minute at low. It's not going to cook everything, and I can check. What are we doing? Oh,
Evac.
Excel. All
Yeah.
right. Uh, it's not going to cook the meal, but it's going to get it to the point where I could check it and still handle other stuff. Well, he's like, why are you using it? I'm like, because I find it fun, and this is a game. This isn't
Yeah.
work. Like, if this was work, I wouldn't be working with you. I'd be working alone because that's just how I work.
I think that's another thing when we were talking about earlier about just amount of players. I do know that there's some people that would prefer a solo mode at some point because a lot of people want to play solo instead of with their team, which is fine. Some people like the challenge wise is why they do it, and then some just they're kind of like that level 40 person where they're just like thinking selfishly.
And one thing I'm also going to share, because I don't think a lot of people have encountered it or know that they can do it, you can drop your backpack and other items. Hey, Sil, press X on your keyboard real quick.
I'm sorry, I had to do that. We had someone in chat talking about deaths in games. So yeah, so
Yeah,
what Flamingo's talking about with dropping stuff is if you hit, I'm guessing default is X, you can bring up a radio menu, and you can right now I have a backpack which is the guard dog. I was showing it off.
there.
But you
You
have the
drop.
guard dog. You have I had a secondary gun, which was a stalwart, and then the samples. With holding X, you can just hover over it and let go of the button, and it drops whatever you have selected. So I know we've done a few missions, me and Flamingo, where we'll collect like all the samples on the left side of the map, go to evac, drop it because we're in a like level 4 or 5 mission, and it's just the two of us. We'll go to evac, drop our stuff, and then go get the other side of the map, then run back to evac and get out of there.
Yeah, I've been noticing that being a thing where a lot of people, especially at least with the super, like if it's just common, a lot of people aren't too panicky, but with the super or whatever and above, they will run and drop it at the pickup point and then, go continue on and then once, you leave, you just pick it up or whatever so that in case you do die, you're not gonna have to run all the way back or end up having to miss out on it or whatever. So, yeah. I
Eh,
just think I think they should add a solo mode for the folks that do want to, just kind of like in most games, there's a lot of people who just don't want to socialize or play with other people or whatever. I just it'll be interesting how they work that out because you're kind of just I don't know. You would have to make certain game modes a little more easier for that person.
Like if they were to sit there and move, if they were to add a solo mode into the game, the two ways I would do it is keep them on a difficulty of 1 through 3, maybe 4 as the highest difficulty, and then add in a sample trader for those solo players.
Hmm.
So it's like 25 commons goes to a rare, 25 rares goes to a super.
Can we get that to a multiplayer, please?
Yeah, yes, in multiplayer
That
that'd
would
be
be
very
cool too.
nice too to
I mean,
unlock some stuff.
I'm not saying anything, but I've tried tier pushing. It is not a lot of fun at times. There are just
I
certain mission combinations. It's just like you can't get through it no matter what you do.
Yeah, I'm on level like I'm stuck on level 6. I can't get into level 7, and I'm thankful that level 6 has supers, but even that's only like two per map, and some maps can take you up to like 30 minutes to knock out, even with a full group of 4.
Yeah, and then that comes down to also let's talk about map speed real quick.
Yeah, no,
I
perfectly go for it.
I think I am very weird in this aspect. Like when I look at like metal farming, like specifically for metal farming, because hey, I want to unlock a lot of stuff. I want to get it done quickly. I just want to get through it so that way I don't have to worry about saving up a bunch of metals. I go to Trivial and I look for radar towers. I'm sorry, not radar towers, the illegal broadcast. Like you and I have done it, and we've gotten in and out in 2 minutes.
Yeah, and I think you even showed a screenshot of how you got one sub 2 minutes, and that was like with evac.
Yeah.
You called
Uh,
evac, went, did the mission, and came back.
was was I sub 2 minutes?
Was it sub 2 or was it sub 5? I can't remember which one it was.
I was definitely sub 5. Um, I know it was around the 2 minute mark. I will also say it's there's a stratagem, not a stratagem. There's that little unlock thing where you can reduce the speed. Reduce the duration of the whatchamacallit, the evac ship coming in, Pelican coming on into you by 20 seconds. That needs a buff. That flat out needs a buff.
You get that Pelican in quicker.
Yeah, I would like to see like 15 seconds per person in the map.
I can see it. If it stacks, I can see that being a good thing. We got a stormtrooper.
I think I got really lucky with my situation on that stuff because I just played with friends and we just worked our way up. If not, when I joined on others, I ended up joining on people that were playing pretty high, so it just unlocked my stuff for me. And it'd be like, you can play this now, you can play this mode. So I will say that it does take a little bit of time, but you guys will get there.
Yeah, and
Have you unlocked everything in your ship?
no, I just got my first 2 supers, and I know I need to unlock more. Like
What's
I think
your
I'm stuck on supers right now for unlocking stuff.
well, would you have you at least unlocked the first big thing or no? Or what's your like which one are you gonna unlock first is what I guess I was gonna say.
Uh, I really don't know honestly what I'm gonna unlock first when I start going for supers. Do you have a unlock thing, Flamingo? Unlock list?
Whatever I can afford. Like legitimately, that's all it is.
Well, are you gonna start high, go low, or are you gonna start low, go high?
If we're talking about like the stratagem boosters, I'm gonna focus on the Eagle One stuff first, and then it's gonna be turrets, and after that, it's gonna be a whatever I can afford.
Okay. Do you have any plans for your unlocks, Kit?
Oh, I have everything unlocked except for like the last little one at the bottom, which I need to get done at some point. I played a lot of the harder end to be able to unlock those because all unfortunately all my friends want to just throw you into the deep end. Okay, they don't settle it through. They just like get in there and you're just like okay, and I just learned really quickly and got my stuff done. Is there a favorite stratagem or like a weapon or do you like any of the passes? Like, have you got any of the passes yet for yourself?
Any other what?
The passes, like the I don't know what the themes are called, but like the winter one that they had recently.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I haven't gotten any of the new war bonds yet, but I do want to go for this newest one that's out. Just because I want to see how those knives that are grenades work, because those seem kind of fun, and they don't show any stats on the bar, so I'm kind of curious how many you get, what their damage is, and stuff like that.
Video on Reddit showed a headshot with one of them taking out a shield guy,
Yeah.
a shield bot, one shot.
But yeah. Favorite weapons. My favorite weapon so far is the Slugger, the medium armor penetrating shotgun. I don't know what it is about this game. I just like I love how you can like fully adjust how your gun fires. So you can set it to semi-auto, full auto, burst auto, turn the laser off, turn the flashlight off. Slugger is just like, hey, here's a shotgun, and thank God the shotguns actually do something in this game. They don't turn to cotton candy after 10 feet. But the
This
Slugger's
is
just
the
like,
only game to do shotguns right.
yeah. But like this, the Slugger is literally just like, oh hey, here is like a pool ball shooting from your gun and it's going to fly. And it's like, oh hey, this isn't a shotgun, it is a fucking sniper rifle with a smaller scope. As for stratagems, I think my go-to nowadays are the 500 kilogram, the orbital laser, because that thing just walks, and it's funny when someone like accidentally runs into it. Then I run the guard dog, which is the laser like little rover that is your backpack. And lately, I've been running the mortar turret because that thing just seems to find a group of targets and evaporate them. What about you, Flamingo? What are your favorite stratagems and weapons?
Um, I'm going to say it's for the backpack item. It really depends. I've been starting to fall in love with the jump jet when I'm fighting bots because I've noticed a lot of terrain that I can use as blocking and not have to worry too much about with them. For the weapon, either going to be the railgun or the grenade launcher. And for the stratagems, uh, gas. Gas is great.
Okay, so I know me and you have talked about this personally, but there might be some people who sit there's like, why is gas great? Because I know you
So,
like to smoke clouds.
well, first off, one, it makes me feel a little bit better about myself when I see the fumes killing other people, aside from everyone around me when I'm having tacos that night. But it's a 1 minute cooldown ish. I think it's 70 seconds. You get that's reduced a little bit because of stratagem upgrades I have. But if you throw it on a bug breach, it wipes out the low tier guys instantly. They spawn and they're dead. They spawn and they're dead. The medium guys, the ones that have like the lighter armor, the ones that usually take a couple shots to kill, you could kill with light penetrating armor. And even then, even the bigger ones I noticed go down pretty easily after just walking through the gas for a few seconds. I don't know the damage on it, but it feels freaking high.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So gas for terminids. What do you use for automatons?
No, gas period. It affects
Oh,
the automatons the same amount, yeah.
okay, so it's like a corrosive gas.
Yeah, and that's the thing that makes it really great is that, it works on everyone. And while I can't really throw it reliably underneath a bot drop because that's going to be dropping in multiple places, if I want to make certain that a lane of fire, they're coming from a particular direction, I could throw that on top of them and not worry too much, or I could throw it in a cluster of them when they're just sitting spawn inside of a base.
Okay.
I really like
Kit, what about yours?
the sniper guns. I really like the flamethrower as much as it toasts me. I like the big rocket launchers. I like the grenades. All that good stuff. I like explosions at most point. And then same with the laser orbital stuff. Like it's very fun. Although it's pretty funny to like not let people know before you drop it, so then they have to run for their lives.
Oh,
Chris
we
is
got a hacker
throwing
in lobby.
grenades right now.
Yeah, we have a hacker in the lobby. We should probably leave.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
as
looks like a hacker.
soon as this
Yeah.
leaves, we'll get out of here. I kind of want to pop him.
Don't.
So because we were just mentioning a hacker, and we have some people who might be listening to this later on. Um, I have about 30 hours in this game so far, and this is the first one I've seen. So I mean, obviously every game is gonna have a hacker, but obviously this is the first one I've seen in that long, and I mean that's pretty impressive.
65 hours here and first hacker.
So I mean, they certainly aren't common, and that's a good thing.
And unlike other games, most of the hackers that I've heard about don't actually troll players. They just get in, get out, and they just want to win.
Okay. But seeing as we did run into someone like that, I do want to cut to kind of like what we would see as like the blemishes of this game, like stuff you don't like and all that stuff. And I figured we start off with the big one. The whole Sony debacle with the PlayStation, with having to get a PlayStation account to play the game. So for the people who don't know about that, the game is partly owned by Sony PlayStation, and to get the game out, and because of server issues, Arrowhead Studios was allowing players to just bypass not having a PlayStation account. And people bought the game, made it like one of the best-selling games on Steam, and then after a few months, Sony said, "Hey, no, we're doing this now. You need to by this date." You need to have a PlayStation Plus account to play
Hmm.
the game, even on PC. Like you don't need to pay. You don't need to pay for it. It was a free account, but you needed to play the game. And unfortunately, with this, it made it to where you could not play the game in like 170 countries. The game got review bombed to no end, and Sony eventually said, "You know what? Okay, fine. We hear everything. We're not going to push this through." What do you guys think about everything that went down with that debacle?
I I don't really blame Arrowhead because it's kind of okay. If we're gonna put this in another term or whatever, it's kind of like when NCSoft like thinks they're gonna make certain decisions for ArenaNet. Like yes, they own them to a point, but they don't own them fully. It's the kind of same thing with people don't understand that Helldivers originally did come on PlayStation. It was a Sony product, so Sony owns part of that little bit. So I it sucks. It seems like a lot of companies in general are just trying to push you into like signing up for anything, putting another launcher on your desktop or whatever. So I personally don't have any Sony products and I just was gonna just uninstall the game. I was gonna refund it or anything. I was just gonna uninstall it if nothing changed. But luckily, people came through. Even the developers were saying to speak out, and Sony did the right thing. Who's to say if it's going to be permanent or not? No clue. I did hear that some countries finally got unlocked on that list, but a lot of others are still locked, unfortunately. Um, and that's more on Sony's side than the game side, because it's not just them in general that's doing that. It's like a lot of games with Sony products. So yeah, for me wise, I'm kind of like I'm not gonna blame the developers and the people. I kind of blame the CEO guy, but he also apologized where they could have at least told people ahead of time. And yeah, in the small little writing on the store page, it said that you know you weren't going to be forced to sign up into something, but blah blah blah. That's fine, but you could at least give a heads up, like, hey, at some point Sony's gonna hit us and say something to us to sign. So maybe they thought they were gonna have enough time to talk Sony out of it. That's probably why they didn't want to. But to me, I'm not mad. I'm just more disappointed in Sony. But you can't really do anything about it because that's big corporations. Microsoft is the same way. So Arrowhead, no problems. Sony, they kind of are on my like shit list at this point.
And what do you think about the debacle there, Flamingo?
Arrowhead really stepped in shit and tracked it all through the house. They knew in
Yeah.
advance, like it's a way to put it, but the CEO went out on Twitter and said, "I chose to do this."
Yep.
He made the choice to remove it. Now, when I bought the game, there was no screen telling me to skip,
Yep.
which to me says, and on the page it says, you may be required. I went through the EULA, there was no notice that I will be required eventually, or it may be a requirement. So if your EULA tells me, no, this isn't a requirement, yes, the EULA is technically not super always enforceable, whatever, but it's letting me know the field I'm going to play in. And when that tells me, no, that's not a requirement, it's not even listed, if you were suddenly going to come back and say, well, we've told you on the store page, that's marketing. I mean, how many times have people tried to use marketing in the courts and say, hey, this is something that they told us, well, it was marketing, you have to take it with a grain of salt?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, the marketing is developed by Arrowhead. So to me, Arrowhead is almost as much to blame as Sony. I think Sony was willing to back off because, hey, whatever, it's just Helldivers 2, whatever. And then all of a sudden it blew up. And then Sony's like, oh crap, we actually need those numbers registered in our PSN network numbers, please, because we
Yeah.
want to look good to our shareholders.
That's what I was gonna say right there. I feel like it's because they had a crap year. And not so much Arrowhead, but Sony had a crap year with like a lot of their products that I think they were like dipping. And then it's like, let's force people to sign up. So then we're like, it balances out the numbers in a sense. And that didn't work out because you're getting to a time and an age where it's like, it's 2024. On top of that, the economy is kind of garbage for everyone across the board at this point. So people are going to know what they're spending their money on. On top of that, privacy is starting to be a very invasive thing with everything and anything at this point as well. So it's like if I don't own your product, I guess Arrowhead, technically Helldivers is a Sony product, but I don't have a PlayStation. I don't have any Sony products in my house. Why do I need to sign up for this thing just to be able to play Helldivers online? If that's the case, then make it where if I don't sign it, then I just don't play with the people on PlayStation. Sadly, that's how I would take that. If that's the case, I shouldn't be forced to just so I can play online.
Yeah, and one thing I'll jump in here with all of this is I do agree that Arrowhead, like both companies, kind of play their hands in bad ways. Sony probably
Mm-hmm.
thought it's like, oh, whatever. It's just like you were saying, it's just Helldivers, whatever. Then it blew up, and they're like, oh no, we need this now for our shareholders. And Arrowhead's like, yeah, we're just not going to
I
listen to
think
Sony. We're
Sony
going
hit
to
the
do
button
this.
because they saw, like Flamingo said, that this game really did blow up. Like it made like we all see it. It's very popular. It's very funny. There's even music done by other content creators. There's all sorts of funny like everyone is playing this game pretty much to a point. So it got popular fast. It got big fast. It's making somewhat steady money because of the war bonds. So what's the perfect opportunity for a bigger company, Sony, to be like, okay, now let's throw this in here. I'm sure
Yeah.
the people will sign up, right? No,
And,
we're not in that time age anymore. A lot of us are grown up and we're not
and
little children anymore.
And the other thing with I wanted to jump onto is I cannot remember the name of one of the devs when the whole debacle was going down, but they really did not handle it well because it
I
was
think they
early
let
on.
them go, unfortunately. I think I know who
Yeah,
you're talking about.
Also, I
Yeah.
don't think he was a dev. I think he was
No,
a
yeah, he was.
content or a community
Yeah,
manager,
just
one
a
or the
community
other.
manager. Yep. There was a
yeah,
couple of
the
them that
CM.
got warnings, and then I think two people got let go. Not just him, but someone else because of just the behavior. And it wasn't only just because of that time. I guess that particular one that you're speaking of has been known to kind of have a temper and weird issues in the Discord and outside of just like behavioral like snap off issues. So I think this final push was probably like the nail in the coffin in a sense for his
Yeah,
spot.
he's like not to disparage the man. It's like if he's
Yeah.
perfectly fine to like he could have been an amazing person in real life, all this stuff, but the way he handled it when it started off, he just did it the wrong way. It's essentially like what was his name, Todd Howard during what's it called, Diablo Immortal for the phone or whatever. He did like the whole "don't you people have phones" type response to the community when they were going off about it. It's like
Yeah.
Now,
that's kind of a bad way to do it, man.
I think this is a big learning lesson for them. I wish them well. I don't wish ill for that person. They were probably under pressure with a lot of stuff because, like Flamingo said, Arrowhead did also know up to a point as well. So it was probably like a buildup of just like they also have their side of work pushing on them, which is Sony and whoever above them. And then, it was kind of like, well, just do it and get over with it. Well, that's not the attitude. If people are saying they don't want to sign up for this, you shouldn't just be like, a toot of just like just sign up or leave. Like you're that's not the way to do it in the community. Like especially one that's like Flamingo says, you're working together. Like why would you tell that to the people that are working together to figure out this problem?
Yeah.
I I'm gonna be honest. I thought it was all an act. I thought he was just pretending to be a democracy officer. Like
Uh,
100% until he got fired. I thought he was playing a character.
I did too, but I guess like on Reddit there was like a lot of people posting just like past behaviors, like reporting him for other stuff. Just and it wasn't just like anything like crazy, but it was just like that where it was like where you think it's like RP. There was like more comments or sass to other topics or situations that have happened over time that um basically yeah he needs to maybe learn when not to RP if he's RPing.
yeah. Uh, from there, has there been any like other controversial things that the game's done lately, or is it literally just the whole Sony thing? I don't know if you
No, I
guys.
think that was it for right now. They're just and besides that the CEO decided to drop down and put someone else in spot because he wants to work on the game. Like he wants to be more involved into the game. he's sick of the politics and everything else. And I'm probably because I'm sure this Sony debacle
Did not
did
help.
not. Yeah, so it makes you realize like what you're better suited at or what you enjoy more, your passion. And if it's working on this game more, then like be it. It's not like he quit or anything. He just decided that he wants to be more hands on into this game, which is a good for me because that means you're passionate about your project or about the game itself or whatever in the company, and you're putting someone that can play around with the politics in a sense in that spot. And it sounds like it's overall a good ideal in my opinion.
Okay.
That's the only other
Ah,
controversial, I guess, thing. And it's not really because it's like it wasn't a bad. He didn't step down because of anything else. He just said, "I don't feel like dealing with all the nonsense of business and politics. I just want to build a game." So
okay. Do you have anything else to add on to that, Flamingo, or you think we got that topic done?
I'm just gonna parrot the I'm glad he stepped back because it seems like the game is his passion project, and
mm-hmm.
by putting the person that's gonna fight the politics so you don't have to, like in this game, Sill's looking one way, I'm looking the other. Having a person watch your back to make certain you can get your shit done makes life so much better.
Exactly.
Okay. From there, I guess we'll go to the next topic, and we've been going for about an hour and 5 minutes, so we'll go a little bit longer. I got a few more topics in my mind that I want to go with you guys, and then I
Mm-hmm.
have a surprise one at the end. So the next topic I want to go through is say you are now the lead developer for Arrowhead Studios, and you can add something into the game. What would be like a weapon, a feature, like what would you want to see done to the game to better it?
Flamingo, you go first because I don't know
Raids,
this. You said raid?
Le- raid,
Yeah,
absolutely a
I
raid.
actually am. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's. I'm along with that idea, but I'll think of another one just in case. But go ahead.
Like we in that central area where we could set up our equipment. I know the other four panels are probably going to be for lore and for items and for what have you, but if you ever wanted to set up raids, we have the perfect for 8-person raids right there. Make it something interesting. Make it something that's very unusual. It's going to be like an infiltration of a bot base that whatever you have to go and find stuff and get out. If it's terminids, you have to bring home biological samples of a brain bug of sorts. Just something like that. Something a little bit more involved with a bigger party. In my mind, I think would just be a little bit more fun.
So let me see what we let me see if I can kind of visualize this. So we party up with
Uh,
8 people. We start a raid. Would we go down to a planet that is currently on a major order? Would it be like this isn't going to be on any planet whatsoever? This is just going to be an 8-person player versus environment, some random off place in the middle of nowhere. You're to do this objective, and it's going to be like difficulty scales. Like you start off with this objective to this one, you're out, kind of thing.
I think there could be two different raids running at this. Well, there should be, in my mind, the raid that's actually tied to the objective. Like we have to defend a planet. God save us. Please let there no have to be another save the planet big thing again. But let's say we have to do that again. Well, one raid is on that planet, and then there's a weekly rotating raid or a daily rotating raid that isn't involved with that. Kind of like how we have all the different strike missions in Guild Wars, where it's just different specialized objectives surrounding a particular story aspect or something.
Okay, so kind of like bringing the story more into the forefront of the game, instead of oh bugs and automatons bad, we're super Earth, all that stuff. An actual like storyline for the game.
Yeah, because there's enough lore inside the game that we could actually put together some sort of story. We could put together some narrative, even if it's just instant space and it doesn't go beyond that. Half hour, 45 minutes worth of a mission, until players figure out how to break it, that allow people to experience something a bit different. Maybe at the very end you get a particular form we might hear about later.
I
Okay,
think one of
the
the yeah, I was
the
gonna say
C01.
yeah. I was gonna say the raids would be a good idea, but I also would like I think like a versus in a sense, kind of like the Left 4 Dead with the mobs, but it'd be kind of hard. You'd have to obviously pick particular mobs for this, so that because if you pick a little bug or a little scrawny robot, you're probably toasted. But like you just go against like the players, and the players can play the opposite mobs, or you could have like you know maybe some of these people left and you can like verse each other instead or whatever. And they would have to strict some of the stuff down because you can just, bomb somebody like crazy or whatever and call it a day. But I think like a little weird like PvP burst mode type thing would be fun on top of the raid.
I actually might play PvP in this game.
It'd just be it's I guess it'd just be yeah, it would have to be a little bit stricted unless it depends on like the mode, I suppose. Like, are you facing against players that are playing the mobs, or are you playing like facing the actual other players? And then if that's the case, like, is it capture maybe like an objective and like capture the point, like capture A, C, B, or cart? But like, what kind of PvP, or is it like Guild Wars 2? It's just overall PvP. I'd be down in general. I don't know how it would work, but it'd be cool.
Okay, and I'll throw in mine now. You missed one. Um, with adding anything in is what about adding guilds, like a guild type system into the game, and doing a guild versus guild type ordeal? Like, say me, Kit, and Flamingo are in different squadrons with different friends. We could challenge each other's squadrons to be like, hey, we're going to go and terminate so many automatons. We're going to go and liberate a planet or liberate a moon or something like that. Something like a small group could do, like to incorporate the raid system that Flamingo was talking about, and have bonuses and um, buffs and stuff like that you can get through that kind of a system.
I think
I
that would be cool, honestly.
If we did something like that, you could do it akin to how the Division 2 has um their guild system set up. You get unlocks as you have participation. Your participation is basically the XP that you earn by playing the game. So
Mm-hmm.
even if you're not running with like 4 guild members, you still get the XP for everything that everyone's doing.
As long as you're putting in some kind of effort in
Hmm.
general, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, yeah,
you got a person who only runs trivial. Doesn't matter. They're still getting you XP. They're still getting you points.
Exactly. They're
yeah.
still
So like
putting in
any
work.
participation from your squadron counts towards the squadron, and then there's a leaderboard between like my squadron, Kit's squadron, and Flamingo's squadron.
I think guilds would be good to add in general, like in like a even if it's not for PvP, but just like for
And
fun.
the
My only
easier way to get
issues I've
friends.
yeah, like because Warframe has it too, where you can like have guilds or whatever. So I think something like kind of like Warframe in a sense would be nice. My only issue is sometimes with great power like that, you'll have people where it's just like, they just kind of merge into a big old blob. So either they would have to have limits on how many people could be in those guilds, so you don't have any like weird stuff going on or cheating or unbalancing in the sense. Like, there's always going to be cheating in the sense of cheaters, but like, I don't know how to explain it. If you played a lot of MMOs, there's usually like always like that big guild or big group that's like just a massive blob and they run everything, do everything, whatever, and they just kind of take over everything, which is fine to a point because it's like you have something to do with people. It's just like oftentimes those groups are toxic. They're not that
Yeah.
great. So I would hope that there would be like some limit of how many people would be in the guild.
Yeah, no,
So you don't
Yeah.
want it to
I
be
would say
too
like
big.
limit 100 people at most, if
Yeah.
that, for this game. 100 people at most. If I want to be generous, I'd say 50
Yeah.
or something that's divisible by four, just so you can easily get everyone to have like full groups running
Mhm.
around. If you want to get you and all of your friends together for like 40 run around, and then say from there, obviously one like the doing the runaround by yourself would get you like a one times multiplier on your participation to the squadron, and then if you had your full group of four, it'd be like a 1.5.
Mhm.
So you get rewarded for playing with your squadron, but you're also not losing out by playing solo if like your friends are offline for the night or whatever.
I could definitely be down for that.
Okay.
Plus, it would
Um,
tie into something with like the raids. So
and that's I was trying to piggyback off of your guys' ideas for that type of thing. Is you can do like a PvP with the squadrons of the leaderboards, or if you want to go up against each other in a match, and then
Mhm.
also doing the raids that Flamingo was suggesting.
I do say one thing that should be brought in completely, and maybe you can like maybe they'll have a mission for it to unlock it. They need like a training room, one where you can just like be able to test out the guns that are
Oh,
on those war bonds before buying the war bonds and more. Just like to know how it aimed, because I also know some friends of mine didn't know that you can change the amount of bullets that shoot out, like with the buttons, like certain stuff. Because some people, when they got the game, they skipped training and they didn't do it. They just went through, or they got bugged, and so some of the stuff they don't know of or like understand. Like if you reload too soon, you waste all that ammo. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like so, just it'd be nice to have like maybe like one a target shooting just to get your aim in or whatever, and then one just to the other thing is to check the guns and weapons or whatever, and then the other, like maybe they could use that training field that they have or whatever to like let you land back on it or something to check something, because it would be nice to test out some of the war bonds guns, because sometimes they're not the greatest, I hear, and then sometimes they're really awesome. I'm like, well, I would like to see myself, but I don't want to waste money on it if it's not
Yeah.
what I like.
Okay. Um. So, what is there anything else we can really go on? Like, what kind of weapons would you like to see added, or is there like any type, anything in your
An
headspace that you think would be
acid
cool?
like type of flamethrower, but with acid, where it just melts this like bug skin off. I don't know
Okay.
how it would work for the metal people, the robots, whatever. It probably wouldn't do much, but just for like, because it's kind of like that anyway. Some guns work better with certain mobs, while the other ones work better with. So for me, I would say like an acid type of, I don't know, shooter flamethrower type gun,
I think
but
we
it shoots
found
acid
this.
out.
I think we found the sadist of our group, guys.
I think we found the bug player. Jesus. I want their skin to melt off.
Oh.
Jesus.
Hey,
Apparently.
those flying, I forgot what they're called, but the flying ones that they brought in and they were diving in and just insta killing you. I hate them. And I
Oh,
hate the
on that
target.
mission? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I actually was in a team we almost extracted on that.
Oh, jeez.
Rocket pods, the rocket launcher stratagem, not the weapon, the actual turret.
Uh-huh.
It tears them up.
I
They were
remember.
annoying when they first came out. Go
Oh
ahead.
yeah. Uh, but for a weapon, racial specific weapons. Like the acid weapon that works great against bugs. Cool. Get me a shotgun that helps disrupt the freaking bots.
Oh, that would be amazing. I love shotguns too.
Like, don't even have it do a lot of damage. So you just can't use it as a trench sweeper, but as that, hey, I want to get the hell away from these things.
Kind of like the slugger, but you more like an EMP type charge with it.
Yeah, like something like that. So that way you actually have a use for those things against the bigger guys. Because sometimes your team is pinned down and you can't call stratagems in, and you really don't want to die. There's no
Yeah,
way for them to really get away.
I can see that.
Oh,
I can see.
I think we might be able to actually lounge on
What
this
about
mission.
a gun that's kind of like if anyone ever played Team Fortress 2 or 1, and be the doctor, and you can have it still shoot ammo, but if you shoot at a teammate, you can heal them.
Oh,
That'd be
you're
cool.
so like the Crusader's crossbow from for the medic. So the way that that gun worked is you fired a shot, and depending on how far the bolt traveled, it either healed the target if it was a friendly, but if it was an enemy, it actually hurt them, and it did more based on the distance it traveled. I like the idea of that gun, but I would change it from Team Fortress 2 to a game called Killing Floor 2. They
Oh,
have
that
a
one's good too. Yeah,
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 the
yeah.
meta class in that game is all their guns are the same as like everyone else's guns, but they do like a little bit less damage and have like the ability to heal from a distance. So kind of like
That would
that.
be that would be
Yeah,
good, especially if you're going to be including raids.
that's yeah. It'd just be nice to have something that's like a light support, but still does work. Because you also don't want to super break it, because then it's like, what's the point of stems and supplies, and if you literally just got a full on healer. So obviously it would have a little bit of limitation and it can't be too powerful, but enough to just like maybe help the course or whatever until the supplies can be dropped again or whatever.
Yeah, then that'd be really cool. I really don't know. I really don't know what I would add into the game. I was just kind of curious what ideas you guys had, and I really like your guys' ideas.
I would like to do more with my ship. Like in Warframe, you can paint the inside, you can decor the inside. I would like to do that. I know this is supposed to be fun, like military style, whatever, but it would be fun to, like, as you said earlier, maybe have a little crown picture drawing of the saving the children, or
I
maybe
want the derpy child drawing now, please.
Don't we all want that derpy child drawing?
just like, I don't know, it's a little more stuff to do with our ship. But I feel like over time it's gonna be one of those things that I don't not see some of this coming fruition in the future, because the game was released at a point where yes, it was finished but not fully finished. As you said, certain things got scrapped, so who knows, maybe things that we want might come later on in the future. So are you guys excited to have maybe a new race come through? Are you getting bored of the bots and the bugs?
I
I
never get bored of bots.
I
Fucking
have
Terminator.
I haven't gotten bored of these guys yet. The Illuminate will be interesting to see if they do add them in, and it might add a little bit more variety with the major orders. So we'll just have to see if the Illuminate do get added in. We'll have to see how it gets done. I've got no quarrels with us just sticking with the two for a bit longer, but if they want to add the third one at some point, we'll see what they do.
Have they added the cape in yet for the silly? Well, it wasn't really silly. It was serious, but the Sony thing with the ups and downs on the Steam reviews.
No, I heard that they wanted to do that, and I'm still waiting for the review bomb cape to come in.
Yeah, because I thought they were gonna do that, but I guess they must have to work it in. Are you trying to sit?
Yeah. Yeah, you aren't?
That would be another thing
No,
I would
no, no.
like.
You
I
gotta
would
you
like
gotta crawl into the back. Crawl into the back.
the choice of having more than one emote,
No, no, no,
like
no.
maybe
Like
like four.
see how I am. See how I am. This is the way you gotta be. There you go.
Bro's chilling.
Just chilling. There you go.
I hate corn.
Not corn. It's delicious.
That's
uh,
how I harvest it. It makes it popcorn instantly.
Jake would have words with you, my good sir.
He can have as many words as he wants as long as it's "you're right, sir," and "I'm sorry."
The guy was talking. Have you ever heard of a guy named Actual Jake on YouTube?
No,
Yes.
I'm making a joke. I have no idea who this man is. He's probably a very nice human being.
He's pretty cool, but his whole shtick is on stream. If somebody pays him enough bits, he has a corn cob costume he puts on,
Oh my god.
and he will wear a corn cob costume when he's like he'll talk with like someone that's being super serious. So it's like this dude who's in a 3-piece suit talking about like the most serious thing, and then there's this just fat motherfucker wearing a corn cob costume. He just
I
does
didn't know
not.
I had a spirit animal, but it's whatever his spirit animal is.
So is there any other topics you guys think we should tackle before we move on to the hidden one?
I don't
If
have any in my end, but if Flamingo has anything.
I don't have anything, but if this hidden one sucks, I'm shooting you.
This hidden one is going to suck absolute ass, so you might as well shoot me now. So, one thing I want to do with each of the podcasts that we go on is once we finish up talking about like everything we can, like everything we want to for the day, is probably just do one more to kind of unwind and all that stuff. The prompt I thought of, and it doesn't have to relate to the game we're
Your
talking
own
about,
cut.
is what era of gaming do you mostly pine for? Like you like the original Nintendo kind of era of 2D side scrollers being the big thing, the introduction of polygonal 3D with like the PlayStation 2, the massive jump in graphics like the PlayStation 3 era. Like, what do you kind of pine for? Like, even like Rock Band with rhythm, like genres themselves, I'll go for.
You suck.
I haven't been shot yet, so I guess it's a good one. No, wait, he's not shooting at me now.
Nope. Apparently, you could ricochet the grenades. That's nice.
But what about DDR games? I love those from Chewy Gummies in chat. I mean, they can be good. They've got some decent music to come out of those games. I will 100% admit that. I'm fat. I can't dance those games, and I got two left feet, so I'm not the best at them. But I can understand the appeal to
It
them.
reminds me back when Xbox first came out with like that Connect, and they were using was it Zumba or
Samba
something?
de Amigo.
Is it, yeah, basically some dance type of stuff. And I literally got the Xbox, and I was like, oh, I'll use this all the time because it'll help me like keep in shape and lose. No. I think I played it for like a week or two, and I was like, I'm done. I don't want to play this anymore.
But
This is not for me.
do you have a like an era of games that you really enjoyed their kit?
Um, hmm, I don't know. I've always been. I don't know what you would like. I guess like the Final Fantasy genre type games. I don't know.
It's like
Uh,
a Nintendo, or we talking about PlayStation when it went 3D.
I would say PlayStation. I don't mind the little pixels, whatever type characters, because I never played them, so I can't give any judgment on them. But I don't mind them, but I don't.
So you
Yeah,
kind of like the JRPG genre and stuff like
yeah.
that. Okay, what about you, Flamingo?
All right, I'm gonna say I really miss the PlayStation 1 Musou Golden Era.
Oh, that's a good one too.
What kind of games are we
Friday
talking
night,
about? Or just
the Musou, like the Dynasty Warrior style games, where
okay,
you're
okay.
running around, one versus many.
Yeah, those are fun.
I going to a friend's house on a Friday night, getting Domino's pizza, and then just beating the shit out of poor Pudling's 1005, and then chasing Lubu at level 2.
Yeah, it pretty much that's what I was doing with my friend. We'd either play that or we'd play like Tekken and like the versus type games or whatever. But yeah, mm, those are fun games, honestly. A lot of PlayStation games back in the day were pretty freaking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same
Okay.
with the N64. N64 had some good like party, like I don't know, just hang out with your buds games.
We're all gonna go play Mario Party and
Yeah.
get blisters on our palms from that Bowser minigame. If I had to give an era I miss, I would do the PlayStation 2 era with Jack and Daxter.
That's a good one too.
It wasn't like it had a little bit of the collectathon element, but also had like the open world elements, especially when you got into like Jack and Daxter 2 and 3. Um, but just a good storied game that didn't take like 60 hours to get through unless you want 100% every little thing about it. And it's just a fun open world. Like these days, I'm getting really tired of just like every game has to be hyper realistic graphics. It's like we don't need the graphics. Just give us something dumb and fun again.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing is like I think I think our group, I would say our generation and generation below, at least like my brother and my sister age or whatever, like lulz, they kind of like that, where it's just like they don't need anything too fancy. They don't mind it. They like that's cool and all, but like even just like silly, like Lethal Company or like games that are just like not fully HD'd out or whatever, just silly nonsense, just having fun and not really just stressing about things or stressing about putting money into a damn battle pass or whatever, like just fun.
Yeah, simply Dio. Deo. Sorry if I messed up the name. I would say the N64 to Xbox, PS1 generation, where games were more arcade-like. Used to play more sports games because it had like a quick action and longer action. Now everything is like use the analog sticks, do all these elaborate things and simulation. Yeah, and
Amen.
I think the one that the like concept I'm thinking in my head is on the PlayStation 5, 4. There was that infamous Second Son game where you were a tagger and you'd like have to hold the controller sideways, hold down a trigger, shake the controller, and then you would use it like a spray can. Those are kind of fun, but some of them are just like if it's just a quick little thing like that, that's perfectly fine. Like even Travis from No More Heroes recharging the beam saber, just stupid little motions like that are fine. But ones I want like bigger ones do need to go away.
Yeah. It's the gaming world is definitely going to be a lot different, especially just on top of just, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, Larian Studios did something different. It's in general when companies take the time or have the time to be able to just release on their own, do better. Or people like Helldivers where like they realize we can't force them to do anything they don't want to do. If we do, look what happened. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the players nowadays in political type stuff, people are spending where they want to spend their money and how they want to spend it. So I could see that, these classic games that we talk about, whatever, they were a lot of fun for certain reasons.
Yeah. Thank you. I needed a refresh on my stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna call down the packs, but no.
Well, I think with that, we've done about an hour and a half. I think we're good from there. We had a nice little talk about Helldivers.
Do you know
And
what's the next content? Or does Flamingo know what's coming up?
for the game or for the
Yeah,
podcast?
for the game, for
I
Helldivers. So that if somebody listens in and maybe they don't have the game yet or maybe want to be enticed to get the game, what's
the
happening?
I don't. Me personally, I don't know if a whole lot's going on. I know we just had that one like Jungle War Bond that was released that is introducing skins for your pelicans, your little your Patriot exosuits, and your drop pod.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's anything else coming out. Do you know, Flamingo?
I don't have anything confirmed, so I'm not gonna say a thing.
He said,
I
I'll
will
keep
say
my mouth
though, get the
shut.
game because you may run into Silabus and you get to shoot him like I do.
And not get yelled at, unlike in real life where there's lawsuits and stuff.
Well, I'm pretty certain if you got shot in the head, I don't think you're gonna do a lot of yelling. Just saying. I
I
mean, don't do that.
I have
Obviously, don't do that, people.
I have family who would be upset if I died. I mean, it wouldn't be lawsuit upset, but they'd have some mean words. But I
I
do.
almost just from you saying that, I almost threw down an SOS beacon. Just gonna be honest.
But I do want to say thank you, Flamingo, for coming and join us for the very first episode.
At least say what this podcast is all about again one more time for
Yeah,
in
yeah,
case
yeah.
I
I was
like
gonna.
what the plan is and
Yeah.
goal. Okay.
But first and foremost, thank you, Flamingo, for coming and joining us, and thank you, Kip, for
Yes.
being a co-host. That was so amazing of you.
Thank you for having me.
But yeah, just to wrap up the inaugural episode of Feature Fragment, thank you all for coming to join us. Chewy Gummies and Simply Deo, you were in chat. You guys were amazing. Um, the interaction with chat will obviously help make the podcast better, and we are going to record it and upload it to YouTube. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, be sure to check the description down below for the channel and dates on when we're going to do the next podcast. But again, this is Feature Fragment. Again, we're taking a feature. In this case, it was Helldivers 2. And we're fragmenting it down to just different topics of what we like and what we don't like. And if you guys have gotten this far, that's been the last hour and a half of us just yammering and playing the game. The next podcast we're going to do for Feature Fragment is going to be... I don't have the date ahead of me. I will announce it. We'll put out a little announcement video before we do it. It will be next month, so in July, and we're going to be talking about Final Fantasy 14 as the Dawn Trail expansion is coming out in about like what 2 weeks, if that.
Yeah. Pretty
And
much.
it will be hosted by both me and Kit the Traveler again, and we are going to have another guest, Beck151, who is pretty knowledgeable with Final Fantasy, so we'll be having a lot of fun with that. With that, do you guys have any sign-offs you want to do before we get out of here?
Just follow me at Get the Traveler on all my socials and Twitch if you ever want to watch. That's it.
Yep, and all social links will be down below as well.
Ooh, we get to show off what happens when we screw up. This is the most famous screen you're going to end up seeing. Hey, I killed something.
What do you mean? You threw me down and counted?
Yeah, I got a kill. What the hell?
Well, I'm throwing you right in the bugs.
That's fine. Because if you're throwing me back towards the objectives, that's good.
Yeah, because I know that's where you like to be.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm going to run over here, be safe, and I'm going to get head over to the end screen again, guys. Thank you for coming out for the inaugural, and we will hopefully see you guys later. We're going to do one more song. We'll get out of here. Later. All right, let me go find...